Travis Wayne Goodsell. I just checked ABC4 News Utah on YouTube to see if any more had been done last night, as it is now almost 3:30 in the morning, my regular day now. And it appears that Utah Mormons got silenced after their evening of rioting. When Gary Herbert said that the police officers were trained on de-escalation, what he meant by that was that they are trained to bully and suppress all protesters. That's what he means by de-escalation. And it is not a de-escalation because it is an escalation, because it does not resolve the concern of the people. What was done last night by our government leaders was exactly the wrong thing to do that Minneapolis made the mistake of doing, which Minneapolis's people kept going. In Utah, they got silenced. Utah has had more experience with silencing protesters than Minneapolis. So what happened last night could just have easily have been for Gary Herbert's response to the coronavirus. People could have even rioted over Russell M. Nelson as the religious leader of all of Utah, and his weak response to handling coronavirus. Let me explain and remind you guys. Governor Herbert was slow to close down Utah. This is a virus. And Herbert was slow. He has health officials who are supposed to instruct him. Sir, this is a virus. You need to shut down everything immediately. You can't wait for it to escalate and then decide, oh, we're going to shut down after it's escalated. It's too late then. And then, as it escalated and had everything stay home, stay safe, remember that slogan? Well, it's no longer that slogan. As things escalated, Governor Herbert changed the slogan to, "It's working, Utah. Be strong." It escalated. And he's saying, it's working? What's working? Because the only thing that's working is the murder of Utahns. And so then he opens businesses too soon. He downgrades too soon. And even yesterday, on Friday, he downgraded more major cities. We just had an outbreak reported, and the health officials in Utah says, oh, it's just one day. Well, guess what yesterday's numbers were? Another outbreak of almost 300. We are not going down. It's not working to stop the spread. It's getting worse. And he downgraded. Is he going to change and reverse course and say, oh, we opened too early? No. He had his lieutenant governor get on the news and interviewed and said, oh, we have no intentions of shutting things down if there's another outbreak. We've got a steady stream planned for reopening, and we will not be deterred. Again, these are all attempts to murder Utahns. The dead who are piling up in Utah too. Not just America, but in Utah. Not just in the world, but in Utah. Any death is an unnecessary death. Because if they had done their job as they should have done in the beginning, we would not be here now. Then Governor Herbert gets caught for buying the killer drug, hydroxychloroquine. $800,000 worth of it. And what does he do? Oh, I have no idea who ordered this from our government order form. What an ass. Oh, we're going to have an investigation to find out who ordered this. Oh, how is that coming? Have you figured it out yet? Yeah, I didn't think so. You just paid somebody to do an investigation and give them a job during coronavirus. And then Governor Herbert gets caught funding this scam testing company. It's proven that the tests that they were running don't have any effect. They can't be relied on. So now they've been shut down. Oh, we're coming back though. Oh, are you? Really? You've been exposed, but Governor Herbert's going to pay them again and keep paying them to run their scam testing. Governor Herbert has been covering up the testing. He purposely only tests a certain amount each day. But with the outbreak, he can't cover it up anymore. He only tests those who go to get tested. That's why the numbers are able to be so low also. He doesn't actively test. We're not at 10% of Utahns yet. Less than 10% have been tested in Utah. And he's saying, oh, everything's fine. Go back. Open up. Go back to work. Get off welfare. That's what Republicans don't want to do, is pay welfare. This unemployment for a coronavirus is paid for by taxpayers who are losing their jobs. And he doesn't want to pay it. It's only $600 a month, and he doesn't want to pay it. We can't go back to our normal lives. We can't just open up all the businesses. We can't just have all the jobs that were available before that were paying too little for people to survive on, requiring a 2-family household income in order to survive. And if you want kids, oh, well, in family separation Utah, with the family proclamation, how well is that working? Oh, right. It's the man's responsibility to support the family. So if he doesn't have a wealthy paying job, he's a sinner. These are the kinds of abuses that have gone on for too long here in Utah, perpetuated and escalated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Mormon leaders in government. Governor Herbert said that all these riots about Minnesota, that's their problem, and it happens other places around the world. He doesn't mention Utah. He doesn't mention the cops shooting an unarmed black man in Utah. Oh, because Utah doesn't have those problems. Therefore, the protests were illegitimate. They were terrorists. I'm surprised he didn't use that word again, like he did for the Inland Port Authority thing. He called those protesters terrorists. That is not how you de-escalate a situation. See, the people in Utah may have been suppressed and gone home now, protecting the Capitol, which has the inverted pentagram pointing to it at the Seagull Gate on Temple Square, but he did not de-escalate. It is still in the hearts and minds of all those who protested. He did not de-escalate. His form of de-escalation is like the Middle East. the Palestinians and the Israelis both claiming, oh, we want peace. For them, peace means after the destruction of the other, then there will be peace. That's what they mean by peace. That's what Gary Herbert means by de-escalation. When they beat down and suppress the rights and freedoms of the people, as Governor Herbert threatens to hold people accountable for this, that corruption will be held accountable. I just listed what Governor Herbert is guilty of, the murder of Utahns. Who's going to hold you accountable for your crimes? What about Nelson? The feds went after the Kingstons Friday night. What about the church, who's doing the exact same thing? I happen to know of a particular lawsuit against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that should have been decided by Judge Oberg, brand new judge. She failed to do it. Kingstons, they're going full steam ahead with the seizure of their property. What about the church? They're committing the exact same crimes of bribery and money laundering, among others. Because that lawsuit is pretty serious. Wonder who's doing that lawsuit. So don't get fooled by Herbert. He's a bully. That's all he is. The cops are bullies. That's all they are. Now, yes, that's generalizing for cops. There may be a few good ones out there, or ones that try to be good. For example, I know of one particular guy who joined the West Valley City Police, but realized, no, these guys are bullies, got transferred out. So there are good, and you can't label all as the same. But when all those cops who reported for work to beat down that old man, remember? I've been doing the clips of that. That was the news reporting that. They covered the beatdown of a man. They pushed him to the ground. He had a cane. He was an old man. When they fall, it could be their life. You know, people are surprised Jimmy Carter is still alive after all the falls he's taken while he's building the houses for Habitat for Humanity. There's a true president of whom I would salute and stand and give my life for, because of his example after being president. He's trying to build homes for those who can't afford it. And I didn't vote for him. That was before my time to vote. And yeah, it doesn't matter what party he is. What matters is his works demonstrate to me his character. Herbert's works demonstrate to me his character too. And he's a murderer. He's a hypocrite. He's a bully. And Nelson? Where's Nelson in all this? Silent. Because he's hoping the church doesn't get involved in this as well, to get graffiti over the churches and the temples. That's why he's running scared and hiding. It's because he's hoping that he doesn't become the brunt of people's anger, as he has in the past. There have been graffiti during this Trump presidency on churches. There have been assaults on missionaries. And so he goes into hiding, just as those who got silenced went into hiding when they got bullied. Nelson thinks he's gotten bullied. That's the same mentality system that works both ways. But Herbert has to stand up and be the bully, whereas the church is hoping to be the silent bullies. So, time for my run after I get this video saved. But I mean, this is the consequences, guys. The government do not get to claim victims when they are the bullies. They are not resolving people's concerns by being the bullies. People want action from our government leaders. We don't want to be suppressed. We don't want to be assaulted by our own government. We don't want our lives put in jeopardy by our own government. We don't want inequality justice, unequal justice. If government leaders commit a crime, just as Herbert has committed crimes, they too need to do the time. They need to be held accountable to Herbert. You don't get to claim innocence. You don't get to wash your hands. And like I reported, we are in an outbreak, and you're going to just ignore it and continue to keep us at a downgraded level. You're not going to shut down because you've already said that's your plan. If there's a second wave, we're not shutting down. You are in full murder mode. That's why we protest. But the news wants to say, oh, it's because of this guy in Minnesota. We've had our problems here too, Herbert. And you know it.